The first thing that you have to take note of concerning the woman that you want to become is that she's not a finished product. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I almost did not make this video, but I'm very excited that I finally made it here. And today we're going to be talking about a crucial topic that most times we don't like to address. It's going to be the hard truth about the woman that you want to become. And I almost did not make this video because I thought that, oh, we're still on our journey, so what do we have to say? But then who else can tell how it hurts besides the person that is still on her journey? So in this video, if you're interested in personal development and becoming the best version of yourself, then I think that you need to hear the hard truth about the woman it is that you want to become, because most times we lie to ourselves. We have an illusion of what success should look like, but in a deeper sense, there is more to it than the glamour and the aesthetics that we see online. So let's dive into the video. So, the first thing that you have to take note of concerning the woman that you want to become is that she's not a finished product. I think we kind of misunderstand it when we see other people that we aspire or admire, and then we think, oh, this person, how did they get here? They must have had everything put together. But I need you to throw that belief into the trash bin, because no woman that you admire today or no woman that you admire her success today is a finished product. One thing about personal development is that personal development is not a destination. It's a journey, it's a continuous journey. And the woman that you want to become, you have to accept that she's going to forever be a work in progress. However, the results that you get will vary and show how much work, how much effort you've put into becoming that person. So nobody that you admire just woke up one day and became all that. Even people that came from money, even people that came from access to resources and the rest of all that, still had to put in the work. So that's the first thing that you should note, that she's not a finished product. She's always a work in progress. Personal development is a journey that you will embark on and never stop until the day you die. And any day you stop becoming a better version of yourself, even though you're becoming 1% better every day, you start retrogressing. So she's not a finished product, she's a work in progress. So, what then are the hard truths about the woman that we want to become? I'm going to be sharing 5 hard truths I've come to accept, and I am still accepting when the topic of getting better and becoming the best version of myself comes on. And I think you need to hear it too. And I honestly needed to say it out loud to myself, because sometimes we can forget. Sometimes we know certain things, but we don't do them because we get so and what we are doing. We get so carried away by what we are doing or the goals that we are chasing that we forget the important steps to make. So these are the 5 hard truths that you have to accept as a woman that wants to become the best version of herself. The first hard truth to accept as a woman working to become the best version of herself is that you will outgrow relationships, and that is one of the loneliest parts of growth. If you listen to any lady that is successful or people that are successful, when you listen to all these podcasts and the rest of them, you will hear one thing that is common. Once you start choosing yourself, once you start choosing your dreams, once you start becoming a better version of yourself, some relationships will start falling apart, and it's not always your fault, because sometimes people no longer fit. It won't always be dramatic. Why some other people will try to make it dramatic? Because you no longer fit into the conversations, you no longer fit into the lifestyle. Everything is now different for you, because once you decide to become a better person, you cannot always fit into the old version of yourself. It's just like when you add weight and then you have old clothes. Those old clothes will no longer fit the new weight that you have. So you have to get new clothes. And it doesn't mean that you have to ditch your old friends. If your friends are progressive, if your friends or your community are people that have the same values, are people that are also working towards their goals, then good luck to you, because congratulations. That's the perfect um community of people that are growing together. However, if you're surrounded by people that are not even putting the effort or trying to become better versions of themselves, you'll find out that with time, your conversations will no longer flow like before because you're an entirely different person, and you either move away or they'll realize that you're now different, something has changed. You also hear some people tell you, oh, you have changed. Some people might even call you proud, but it is what it is. You're no longer that person that they used to know, and you will feel bad at some point. But it's either your goals, it's either your dream life, or you stick with those old friends. And one very painful thing is when you bring down yourself or you try to accommodate people when they are down there, and then you start betraying yourself, and then eventually these people now see the light, and they start chasing their own goals. You're going to be very pained because you know that you know who you have always been, but because you wanted to still keep your old friends, you had to start betraying yourself. So put it at the back of your mind that you're going to lose relationships, you're going to lose friendships, you're going to lose even romantic relationships to become the best version of yourself as a woman. It's a hard truth that everybody that is up there, that has been through this experience or that is on this journey, will tell you you will lose relationships. The next hard truth that you have to accept is that the hardest work always goes unseen. And I'm not saying this to discourage you, that people will not encourage you or people will not see your hard work, but let's call it speed is speed. The behind the scene of everybody that is working towards their goal is not as glamorous as the end result that we show you. If you have ever gone to a bakery or you've ever worked in a restaurant, the kitchen is always very hot. It's not always as nice as the dishes that comes out from it looks. And as someone that is working towards their goal, you just have to accept it that there's a ton of work that will go on behind the scene that nobody sees. There's a ton of work that will go on inside of you, your environment. There's a ton of effort that you're going to put in that nobody sees, and nobody will applaud you. As a creator myself, the hardest part is sitting down to press the record button. And recently people have started showing us behind their scenes where they are stuttering, where they are in front of the camera and they can't even get a word out. But nobody sees, most people don't see that part except you show them. Nobody is going to understand that you've put in so much effort. Everybody sits down to enjoy your 5 minutes video or your 10-second reel, but nobody knows that sometimes it can take you 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to even shoot that video. So if you're working to become the best version of yourself, put at the back of your mind that there's a lot of work that you do that nobody's going to see, nobody's going to applaud you, and nobody's going to give you a thumbs up. So you have to be the one patting yourself on the back and say, okay, this is the work I'm going to do. Nobody's going to encourage me. Nobody's going to applaud me, but I'm still going to do this work because the end result is going to show everything that I've done is going to be worth it. Next hard truth that you have to accept as a woman that is working towards her goal is that you have to be your own advocate because nobody is going to do it for you. So one thing I'm actively learning in this journey is that nobody is going to advocate for your worth more than you do. No one is going to refer you. No one is going to see your value and then give you a breakthrough. If you want anybody to mention your name in any room, you have to put yourself out there. No one is coming to save you. It means that you have to start being audacious. You have to stand there. You have to start telling people your value. Don't wait to be discovered. The woman that you admire, she's not waiting to be discovered. She's putting herself out there. She's sending the email, she's creating the video, she's showing her contact, she's sharing it, she's attending the event, she's networking. And I am also reminding myself that I have to put myself out there, and I can be scared that, oh, what's going to happen next? But the worst that will happen is a no. You're only going to get a no. I've been recently applying for jobs, and then I saw a job and I was like, oh, how am I going to navigate this even as a writer? And I had to just apply. I'm like, okay, the worst that I'll get is a no. I sent it. I eventually got a no, but at that point I was happy because I know that I had to increase my capacity. I had to check, okay, what is it that I need to add? What is it that I need to start doing? What is it that I need to get better at? If you're not putting yourself out there, how then do you know that you're improving? How do you know that you have gone through the training that you need? You know, gold has to be tried by fire before it becomes that shiny, beautiful thing that we admire. So you have to put yourself out there. Don't hide. Don't be like, oh, there's no is the way they put it. There is no reward for staying mysterious. We like to say a closed mouth is a closed destiny. And believe you me, a closed mouth is really a closed destiny because if you're not saying your what, if you're not sharing your what, if you're not telling people who you are, what it is that you do, and the value that you bring to the table, nobody is going to know you. So you know everybody that is doing so many amazing things in your industry, but nobody knows your name. People have to remember your name. People have to understand that, okay, this is who this person is for them to be able to refer you. And then discovery will come when you have already built yourself, when you have already put yourself out there, not because you're sitting down to wait for opportunities to come for you. You have to get out there. You have to put yourself out there for opportunities to come to you. The next hard truth that you need to learn today is that perfection is a trap and it has kept most women small than failure has ever done. The most realistic thing I've ever heard about perfection is that it's a subtle trap that gives you an illusion of responsibility, when in actual sense, it's you waiting for everything to be good enough to be perfect before you move, before you take action. As a perfectionist myself, I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this, that the more you keep waiting to be good enough before you take action, the more you stall your goals, the more you push the life that you desire. Before I started content creation, I had been waiting for the perfect time. Oh, I need to get the perfect mic. I need to get a ring light. I need to get this. I need to get that. And guess who did not create the content even after getting all those things? You guessed right. Perfection is an enemy. It's the sister to procrastination. So you're waiting for everything to be perfect. You're waiting for the opportunities to be perfect. And while you're waiting, a lot of opportunities are passing you by because you think that you have to be good enough. You're never going to be good enough while you're waiting. You're only going to be good enough when you are in motion. The honest hack is to start before you are ready, then refine as you go, get better as you go, learn and unlearn things as you go. Only a person in momentum, only a person in motion, only a person that is already acting on the ideas that they have is going to get better at it, is going to get opportunities at it. And finally, for this video, the last hard truth that we're going to be looking at is that the hardest work often goes unseen, and so does the grief of the person that you're leaving behind. I think this particular point is the one I hold dear to my heart because, as a mental health advocate, I do not dismiss any feeling at all, even the slightest feeling of anything at all. I do not dismiss it. Becoming the better version of yourself means that you're going to leave the version of you that loved smallness, the version of you that has found your old life comfortable. And this grief is what most people don't talk about. This grief is what we don't always come out to say. Sometimes we are feeling sad when we are working on our goals, not because anybody or we have external problems or challenges, but because our brain is going through the pain of rewiring to fit to become to fit for the person that we are becoming. It's all neuroplasticity. When we are becoming new people, when we are taking up new goals, you'll find out that and the first 1 month of trying to become a better person, the first week can be exciting. It can be you're looking forward to reading the book, you're looking forward to doing the workout, and then within the second and third week, you're still falling off. Your brain is trying to negotiate if you should go back to the person that you used to know, or you should keep on the journey of becoming a better version of yourself. And I just need to hold your hand and tell you that everybody that is at the top now, they've all been there. And even on my own journey, I am there, I am here, and I know that even in climbing and ascending to better opportunities or growing, I will still experience different certain levels of grief. But I need you to understand that it's normal to feel the way you're feeling, but don't let this grief hold you back or convince you that your old life is better, because when you get older, you're going to beat yourself so hard for leaning back to comfort that you are used to. Sometimes becoming the better version of yourself also has to deal with getting comfortable with discomfort, getting comfortable with things not always going your way, getting comfortable with uncertainty, getting comfortable with doing things that are so scary that you're not even sure. You can't even always explain what you're doing, but you just know that you have this mad idea, and you know that if it ever works out, your life will change. So please deal with the grief, let it be done and over with. And it's best if you talk to someone that is also in that journey. I have a community, HerVault. I'm going to be leaving the link. This community is a community of women that are working to become the best version of themselves. So you can talk to somebody and explain how you're feeling. So you understand that you're not the only one going through this, and is a normal part of the process. And I need to be clear about something. Remember, I said that we are a work in progress, and we have to accept this hard truth about this journey that we have decided to embark on, the journey of leaving relationships behind, the journey of teaching perfection and getting started, the journey of dealing with grief. Some days it feels as though you're close to your goals, and then some days it feels as though you're starting over, but it doesn't mean that the whole story or the whole narrative has to fall apart. Once you feel yourself down, get back on track and find a way to just make it work out for you, because the whole pain, the discomfort, it's really worth it. It's really worth the end result. And one truth you should also know is that you don't become her and then start living. You're already living in it. You have to act like the person that you want to become, act like the woman that you want to become. When you're struggling with all those limiting beliefs, you have to ask yourself, oh, what would the woman I admire do? What is the morning routine of the woman I admire, and make it to be realistic to your own life currently. So today I want you to leave in the comments one truth that you really needed to hear today, because I genuinely believe that we're not doing this alone. I'm not on my journey alone. I have a community of women that are speaking to me when I feel like I'm going down or I feel stuck. So join the community using the link below, subscribe, turn on your notifications so whenever I post a new video, you'll see it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.